Hello, my name is Rohan Sharma. Time's up. Time's up to treat any other human being differently because of their gender. Time's up to classify women as inferior to men. Time's up to think women are more sensitive or weak or fragile than men. Time's up to tolerate sexual harassment. Time's up to stand by and watch these actions take place every day. Sexism exists in our society today largely because people believe that it is no longer a problem because they have not experienced it. Many others think that laws prohibiting gender discrimination have eliminated different treatment of girls and women. Laws are not enough. The Equal Pay Act was passed in 1963 and required employers to pay men and women equal wages for doing the same work. However, 55 years later, the gender wage gap still exists. The U.S. Census Bureau reports that overall, women earn only 79 cents for every dollar that white men earn. But for black women, that number is 60 cents. And for Hispanic women, just 55 cents. The inequality doesn't stop there. Women also have to be worried about their personal well-being and safety at work. A recent ABC News Washington Post poll found that 54% of American women have experienced sexual harassment, and half of them said that men with influence over their careers were the perpetrators. Sexism even plagues our politics. The Center for American Women and Politics at Rutgers University states that currently women compose only 19.8% of Congress and only 22% of the Senate, despite being 50.8% of the total population. These statistics are a direct result of gender discrimination. Just recently, Cortland Sykes, a Republican U.S. Senate candidate for Missouri, posted a statement describing his views on women's rights. He said that feminists pursue an agenda they, quote, made up to suit their own nasty, snake-filled heads, end quote. He added that if he has daughters, he hopes they will not grow up to be, quote, career-obsessed banshees who forgo home life and children and the happiness of family to become nail-biting, manophobic, hell-bent, feminist she-devils, end quote. Sexism is not always this blatant. It also takes more subtle forms. Too often, girls who excel in math or science are encouraged to become teachers, but not scientists or engineers. Boys typically don't face the same pressure. The problem is there, and it seems like it would be extremely difficult to solve. But that's why we must break the solution into smaller steps. Helen Keller said the highest result of education is tolerance. So that's where we should start. Classes on women's studies should be mandatory for all high school and college students, so they are informed of all that women have accomplished so far and how far they can go with equal opportunity. To start teaching younger children how to recognize gender discrimination and speak out against it, groups such as the AAUW should hold monthly assemblies in elementary and middle schools on the importance and necessity of treating all women as equals. To solve issues in the workforce, the federal government must make paid maternity leave mandatory by law. Women should not be penalized for having and taking care of their children. We should have stricter punishments for sexual harassers. We need more women to run for public office, so we do not just have men passing laws that only affect women. We can all do our part in our daily lives as well. We should call out sexism whenever we see it. We may even notice that we participate in some of these behaviors ourselves. So the more self-conscious we are of them, the less we will behave like this. The most important thing we can all do is to encourage all of the women in our lives to be limitless instead of confining them to the boundaries of how a woman should behave. Yes, sexism exists. Yes, sexism is a problem. Yes, it affects many women, not only in the United States, but women across the globe. Yes, there is something we can do about it. When you hear someone say, she runs like a girl, you should say, you're right. She's going to run for senator, Congress, governor, and yes, president. When someone says she's just not good with numbers, you should say, she's going to win a Nobel Prize in mathematics, science, or medicine. If a man can become a CEO, so can a woman. The only obstacles women face that men do not are the ones we, as a society, place on them. Let's stop blocking her path and making her struggle harder. Because, as Hillary Clinton declared, human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights. Thank you very much.